Welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. I'm Karen Mashures, and today we're doing a summertime meal that is absolutely wonderful. The first thing we're going to make is Sloppy Joes. And you know, Sloppy Joes actually originated in the United States, and there's a whole lot of different versions, and there's even a different version in Canada. So you can really make this one your way. But today we're making traditional beef Sloppy Joes. We're going to do a classic potato salad, some tangy deviled eggs, and a blueberry cobbler. It's time for those blueberries right now. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do with our Sloppy Joes is turn this pan on high, and I'm going to put about a tablespoon of olive oil in here. We're going to saute our vegetables. So let me grab a wooden instrument. Stir this around so it all starts to get warm fast. This is really great for me because I've got a stove that warms up really quickly. And let's get little few drops left. Okay, the first thing that's going to go in is our carrots. And I've got about a half a cup of carrots, all diced up. This recipe has a whole lot of ingredients, but that's what makes it so yummy. We're going to let these cook for about 5 minutes. All right, these carrots are looking good. Now, we're actually adding the ingredients that are called the Trinity, and we're going to put our celery in now. The carrots add the sweetness, and the celery gives it such a wonderful flavor. And if you're like me growing up in the 50s, those manwiches don't quite get it. I like the homemade real stuff. Now it's time for the onions. And we're just going to let this all simmer down until the onions start to get transparent. Okay, this is looking great. Now it's time for my garlic. And I've got 2 cloves of garlic, and that's going in right now. We don't want that to burn. So I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. And let this cook for about another minute, and they'll be ready to come off the heat. Okay, vegetables are just about ready. Let me get all my bowls out of the way. We're going to take our vegetables. Let's just turn this off real fast. We're going to take our vegetables and just remove them from the heat. And we're going to put them in a bowl and let them sit on the side for a little while. We're going to cook our meat in the same pan. That way you don't have to do double duty in the kitchen afterwards. Okay, pan right back down. Now I have got 2 pounds of ground beef, and I've got the very lean 90. And I don't want to have to take out too much of the fat afterwards. So I'm going to take some salt, and I'm going to put salt, about a tablespoon, on the bottom of my pan. This is going to keep the ground beef from sticking as it cooks. Okay, we're going to crumble it up. That sizzle smells is wonderful. You get that aroma of the vegetables coming through to the meat. Okay, let's pop this in the sink. I'm gonna wash my hands. And now I'm going to turn this down to medium and let it cook for about a minute, and then we're going to give it a stir. Want it to brown all the way through. All right, looks like our meat is ready. And I'm going to turn this off real fast. Let me move this out of the way. We've got to drain any excess grease out. And because actually this is so lean, I don't have any. It really looks good. Okay, now I'm going to put my vegetables right back in this mixture and give it a nice little stir. And now it's time for my flour. I'm just going to sprinkle a teaspoon of flour on and cook it down just a little bit. Okay, back on, medium. We want that flour to thicken up the sauce just a little bit, but the flour taste will disappear. It's a really quick and easy meal if you do just a little bit of prep work beforehand. And a lot of spices, a little bit of chopping, but very easy and convenient. Okay, now it's time for our ketchup. Let me. And we're just going to put everything in right on top. So half a cup of ketchup. Got 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce, and use the kind that you like. I'm using a honey barbecue sauce. Want a little bit of sweetness in there. Some Worcestershire. Some sherry vinegar. And some brown sugar. Just a teaspoon. Starting to get that look. That's all mixed together. Now it's time for my tomato sauce. And this is just canned tomato sauce, 2 cups. Let's get all of that in there. Nice stir. And now it's time for our spices. And I've got some good ones. Let's put in just a little bit of cinnamon. We're going to put in some thyme. A pinch of cayenne. Just give it that little bit of heat. And a little bit of chili powder. And this is going down to low. We're going to let this simmer for about 20 to 30 minutes. And if you want to make it earlier in the day, you can always reheat it. Because you know these kind of things taste better even when they're reheated. All right, one more thing and we're ready to let it work its magic. Got a half a cup of water. Give it a good stir. Make sure everything's getting in there lovely. We're going to take a short break and come back and do our potato salad and our tangy deviled eggs.
When you start with local produce, add some homegrown Carolina pride, and mix it all with a commitment to family, you get more than a locally based grocery store. You get the taste of home. Lowe's Foods. Lowe's Foods, proud sponsor of the Coastal Kitchen and ATM CTV.
Welcome back. I've already got my potatoes in my pot on the stove, and this is the last one. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut them into equal pieces, about not quite an inch, maybe close to it. Pop it right in with the rest of them. And I've got 3 pounds of potatoes in there, and I'm going to let them get started. And I've got a little secret to tell you. The way that I cook my eggs for my potato salad is I put them in the water with the potatoes. Just let them go right under the surface. And we're going to take those out in about 12 minutes after it starts boiling. Okay, got this going. Now let's go to our deviled eggs, our tangy deviled eggs, while we let those potatoes cook. Okay, I have already boiled my eggs, and what I do is I put them in cold water and boil them for 8 minutes. Let them sit out of the water for about 10 minutes, and then I peel them. So I've already started. I've got just about all cut. Just cut them in half and pop that yolk right in your bowl. I know that everybody eats deviled eggs, but there's nothing better in the South than a deviled egg. Okay, got that, and I'm throwing in 1 whole egg. Let me grab my pastry cutter. When I'm making a bunch of deviled eggs, I'll put it in the food processor. But when I'm just making a few, this pastry cutter really works well. Just want to chop them up beautifully, nice and small white, because I like a little bit of white in my egg also. Okay, ready for the rest of all the goodies that go in here. Okay, I'm going to put in my mayo, and when I say mayo in deviled eggs, it's really Miracle Whip, because I think the tang that the Miracle Whip gives to the deviled egg is what I like, and that's the way I like it, so that's the way I do it. A little sprinkle of salt, not too much. Some mustard, just prepared mustard, good old yellow mustard, and some sweet pickle relish. And let's mix that all up. Now, you can fill deviled eggs any way that you like, but I like to do it the easy way, which is to put it in a pastry bag with a big tip and fill my eggs that way. All right, one little last thing. Couple twists of pepper. And we're going to put this all in a pastry bag. I like to do it the easy way. And so it goes right in my pastry bag. I've got just an iced tea glass sitting here holding it up for me, because that's the only thing about hands, pastry bags and bowls. Whoops. Let's put that down here. Shake it down just a little bit. And let me get my eggs. You don't even have to take them out of the tray. Just real pretty. Top, fill the cavity. Last one. Okay, little sprinkle of paprika to make them look festive. And these are ready to go right in the fridge. Let's set for about an hour before you serve them. Okay, I'm going to put these in the fridge, and we're going to go back to our potatoes. All right, let's check these eggs real fast. Okay, it looks like they're ready to come out. And I'm just going to take them out, put them in my little bowl. And while I'm here, let me take a little test to see if these potatoes are getting done. A few more minutes. All right, looks like these potatoes are done. Okay, they're good. I'm gonna turn this off and watch the steam. I've got a colander sitting in the sink. Let's get some of it off. Potatoes always smell so wonderful when you get them out of the pot. Okay. Let's make sure all of the excess water is drained off. And I'm going to get my bowl ready. Just pop them in a lovely big bowl. And we're going to let them set for just a second. I'm going to take this time while they're cooling a little bit to start peeling my eggs. So, all right, last little bit. And I'm just going to take a paper towel and give them a little pat down. Okay, when I make potato salad, the first thing that I do is I put in my Miracle Whip and my mayonnaise. So that's going in first while my potatoes are hot. All right. Just want to coat these good. Now it's time for our mustard. Let's pop that in. Just a little, give it a little bright yellow color. Okay, let's get our celery. Got some nice chopped celery ready. Some onion, about a medium size onion. I like onion in my potato salad, so we're just gonna put that in, and you do it to taste. One of the things my mom always did when she made potato salad was she added celery seed. And to me, potato salad isn't potato salad without the celery seed. So I'm going to put in a tablespoon of celery seed. If you've never tried it, you'll like it. You're just going to give it a couple turns, and then we're going to get our eggs ready. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for just a second. And I'm going to take my eggs, and I'm just going to cut these in half. Let me grab this. I used the pastry cutter again for my eggs. And we're just going to do a nice chop. Not as fine as we did for the eggs in the deviled eggs, but close. You want to see some pieces of egg in this potato salad. Okay, let's get this right in the bowl. We're going to incorporate all these ingredients, make sure it's nice and mixed up, and then we're going to transfer it to a bowl to go in the fridge. So we're going to take a short break. I'll be back to make our blueberry cobbler.
The Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Holden Brothers Farm Market in Charlotte for supplying the fresh produce on this week's show. Swing by their indoor market located near mile marker 10 on Highway 17 or check them out online at holdenbrothersfarmmarket.com.
Welcome back. We've nearly completed our meal. The last thing we have to do is our Lazy Day blueberry cobbler. Now, I have the recipe online for you, and you can double it like I'm going to do today, because when I make this, it's something that everybody wants to eat until they can't eat anymore. It's absolutely delicious, and you may have made it. A friend of mine gave me this recipe probably 40 years ago, and I love it, and it's my daughter's favorite dessert. The first thing we're going to do is put butter in the oven, 350 degrees, and we're going to let that just melt. And while that's melting, I'm going to take my blueberries. Now they've been washed and stemmed, and I'm going to take my sugar and just pour my sugar right over the top. Looks like a lot of sugar. It is. But cobblers are supposed to be sweet. Okay, now as I said, I'm making a double batch. So you'd use 1 cup of sugar, 1 pint of blueberries, and 1 lemon, the juice of, okay? So let me get this juiced real fast. Okay. Juice in. And all I'm going to do is stir these, make sure that sugar is all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to let this set while we are making our batter. Okay, I'm just going to put that right there so it can rest. Now, real simple. Flour, sugar, and milk. It's almost like one of those dump cakes or a pound cake because everything's in equal measurements. Okay, let me grab a, and we're just going to mix this all up. Okay, got it all wet. Now let me grab my whisk, and we're going to whisk it until we get all the lumps out of the batter, and we're going to let it sit for just a few minutes while we're waiting for our butter to melt and get this all into our pan. All right, looks like this is almost ready. I'm just going to put it right there, move this out of the way. Check my butter to see if it's all melted. Yep, it's ready. Okay, put that right there. Don't want to lose too much heat. Okay, all melted. Let's just give this another good stir here. And all we are going to do is pour this right on top of the butter. And we're not going to touch it with a spoon or anything to stir it with. Now, let's go for our blueberries. All right. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently place these blueberries on top of the batter. Okay. All right, we're at the last of the blueberries, and just wanted to show you there's still a fair amount of sugar in the bowl. Don't worry about that, okay? Now, into the oven it goes, 350 for 35 minutes, and then we'll have blueberry cobbler. All right, I've got my griddle on because for our sloppy joes, I need to make sure that I've got some really neat buns. Now, if I was just fixing this for me, I'd probably use regular old hamburger buns because that's what I'm used to and I like. That's what makes a sloppy joe a sloppy joe. But I'm having company, so I'm taking the bottom and the top of these beautiful rolls, and I'm just going to let them get a little bit toasty on my griddle. You can put these on your outdoor grill or under the oven toaster, the broiler. We're going to take a short break while I do these rolls and hear from our sponsor, Lowe's Foods.
When you start with local produce, add some homegrown Carolina pride, and mix it all with a commitment to family, you get more than a locally based grocery store. You get the taste of home. Lowe's Foods. Lowe's Foods, proud sponsor of the Coastal Kitchen and ATM CTV.
Welcome back. I'm getting ready to get my bun off of my grill. Nice grill marks there. Let's turn this off. I've got, this smells fabulous. Let's turn that off now. My sloppy joe. Give it a nice quick stir. Smells absolutely phenomenal. All right. Now it's supposed to be sloppy, so make sure you put enough on there. Okay. I'm just going to slide this onto my plate. Top on. And I have got my potato salad, tangy deviled eggs, a beautiful looking sloppy joe, and look at my cobbler. Isn't that gorgeous? Put some tea with it, and we're ready to have a little bit of something to eat. Remember, you can find us on Facebook. Just search for the Coastal Kitchen. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
We are ATMC TV, Channel 3 and HD Channel 910, your community channel.
ATMC TV works hard to bring you the best in local programming for Brunswick and Columbus counties. Our goal is to provide local programming that is interesting, informative, and entertaining to the residents of our area. ATMC TV also offers all their information at atmctv.com. Find out when your favorite shows are airing, watch current ATMC TV episodes, check the local bulletins, or even submit a public service announcement about your organization. Be sure to check us out on the web at atmctv.com.